Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going to be getting into the next phase of the outdoor arena project, which is exciting. I'm inside first because I wanted to give you guys a bit of an overview over everything so you have a good understanding, and then we're going to be out there rolling up our sleeves, getting into it. Because tomorrow some more work will begin around the outdoor arena, so we have to kind of prep and get things finalized. Yes is away, he's currently at a show, but he'll be back tomorrow. Well, tonight, but you guys will probably see him tomorrow. Before we get into all of that, I wanted to explain my headspace a little bit. So I'm going to explain to you guys something. We live in an area of the Netherlands called the Achterhoek. There's a really big sense of community here. And so what happens in this area of the Netherlands is when somebody moves into the area, it's customary that they host kind of a welcoming party for the neighborhood. And Yes and I, we knew that this is something that we had to do, but in our headspace, because you guys know we started straight away with the renos, so the whole house was upside down. In our head, we were like, okay, when things are a little bit more tidy and finished up, we will host our party. I will say it hasn't happened yet because we have not reached that space. So Yes and I were like, okay, we're just gonna have to bite the bullet and do it soon. Because otherwise it's going to be years before we do this celebratory host for the neighborhood. But I attended last night one from a new neighbor or new family neighbor of ours from the street because they just moved in, and it was so lovely. And I mean, I already know actually most of the neighbors here. We know them, we see them at different events and stuff. But it was actually really nice, and I was like, this is such a nice tradition that it's so customary and such a given that you host everybody. Because it's quite normal in Australia that you move in somewhere, you put a card, you knock on the door, you say hello, but to actually put on a party and everything, it's not that common, I think, at least from where I'm from. But I'm not a big drinker. I have indulged drinking in the past when I was clubbing and doing all that kind of stuff. But I have like zero basically tolerance for alcohol now at the ripe old age of 28. I don't know what it is about it. Not in the sense that I have one drink and I'm drunk, quite the opposite. Actually, it takes quite a lot for me to get there, which is something I no longer do. Yes doesn't drink. Yes and I both don't drink at home ever. But if I have like 2-3 glasses of alcohol, nowadays, I'm basically hungover already. So I woke up this morning and I was like, ooh, that's a bit of a headache. And I only had literally like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, like nothing. I'm very spaced apart, like 2-3 hours of wine in 4 hours. And I'm all day with a headache. I don't know what's going on with my body, but it's not good. But then I thought to myself, okay, am I going to do this project today? Because it's quite big. And I said, you know what? It's a beautiful day. Also tomorrow, other things are happening, so there's no time. So we're going to do it. So today marks the very beginning of the outdoor arena landscaping plan coming to fruition. So what I'm going to do is I've created kind of like a PDF with a very rough drawing, and I'm going to explain it to you guys a little bit. So I'm going to pop the photo up. And I wanted to share with you the design first before we go out there and start doing the work, because I think it'll set the tone and you guys will understand a little bit better. So I've explained to you guys in the past that it's very important that the arena is not open, because yes, it does a lot of liberty work, and the horses, especially when they're learning in the beginning, but also even later on, they're free, but they can't be just able to escape and run everywhere. That doesn't work with stallions. It doesn't work with the training. So kind of how we did it at our last property, you guys will remember we had a very high fence all the way around the arena. And from a practicality point of view for Jesse, that was perfect. But I never liked the way it looked because it didn't feel very inviting. It felt very much like you were stuck inside. And so Jesse and I were going back and forth, and we were like, okay, how do we create, obviously, this safety feature of being able to keep the horses contained? Also, for instance, if you're training a young horse, like when Valero comes home and I'm riding him for the first few times, I don't want to ride in this big open space in case something happens and I fall off and then the horse is loose. So Jesse and I were going back and forth, and we were like, okay, how are we going to do this? Now, I always lean towards keeping things as natural as possible. So very quickly, we kind of came to the idea of, instead of having a fence, of doing a hedge. And I didn't want to place the hedge exactly next to the border of the arena because it just feels like it's suffocating the space a little. So what we're going to do is we're doing a very big beech hedge all the way around, 360 around the whole arena, but it's going to be bumped back about 1 meter So there's like a meter of space which will be planted. I'm thinking roses or something like that, something, or a repeat bloomer, but not something that we have to swap out every year. So it's going to be this kind of white arena fence. Then it will bump out to like a 1 meter planting space. Then it will bump out to a hedge. And then behind that, it'll bump out to rhododendrons and a little bit some hydrangeas and mixed borders behind it. Now, we wanted to create some seating areas in the outdoor. We're not for now going to create a big covered seating area. That might be something that happens in the future, but for now that's not the plan. So what I wanted to do is create 4 or 5, I'm not sure yet, but 4 or 5 bench spaces, which kind of are going to look like they're a bit of like a pop out of the design. So rather than the hedge being completely straight, it'll be straight, then it will pop out and allow this kind of bench space, and then it will come back in. You guys will see it from the design aspect. And what I would like to do is either side of each bench space, I would like to plant 2 trees to kind of flank either side of the benches. I've decided to go for, I'm using a lot of eyes because this is a little bit my territory, but everything has been obviously discussed with Jesse and he agrees and he approves and all that kind of stuff. But I'm presenting it to you guys as just us one-on-one, but it should go without saying, but obviously Jesse has been involved in the whole talk as well. This is just the concept we have for now. But I've decided to go with a wild cherry tree, which is native to the Netherlands here. So we're gonna have some spring interest with beautiful flowers, white flowers. And then in the autumn, there's going to be beautiful, they're like beautiful autumn color, very orange, red, yellow, very beautiful. And especially because the beech hedge goes this lovely golden rusty color as well. It should look beautiful in the autumn and it should look beautiful in the spring. Especially in the spring when all the leaves are like this chartreuse green and they're coming out super bright. With the flowers and everything, it's going to look amazing. Now, obviously because I do dressage, this is where the compromise comes in with the arena, is I really wanted to have arena letters throughout the space. Now, with arena letters, there's several different ways you can do it. And I've always loved when arena letters are inside of kind of like a basket that has some sort of flower or pot inside it, because then it becomes much more decorative rather than just serving a purpose. So we are working with a brand right now who's custom making these arena kind of letterbox planters. And we're going to be doing 8 of those to mark the basic letters for a dressage arena. And they will be potted inside with flowers as well. Obviously, you guys will have seen photos as I've been discussing it. But those, it should all create a sense of symmetry. So what we're going to be doing today, now that we have a little bit of a rough understanding of the design, is we're going to be laying out landscape fabric around the whole perimeter of the arena. This is because we suffer in this area from some kind of bindweeds. That it's this very, very frustrating weed that like, it's very viney and it climbs into all your plants, and once it's in, it's very difficult to eradicate because you can't spray it because it's in between all of your plantings and everything. So we thought, okay, I'm not a big fan of landscape fabric, but in big applications like this where you actually don't have much of a choice because you have to combat these weeds, it works. It might be that in the future some of it gets removed, but for now we're just going to lay it. That way we don't get an excess growth of weeds or anything like that, and we can maintain it properly. And then the big plantings will start to happen towards October, November, which is not that far away. That's why we need to start the prep work. Once the landscape fabric is laid, which is quite the job, once that is laid, we are going to be setting up a little bit the lines for where the hedge is going to be, the seating areas. I already have 2 benches which we're going to place out there to see a little bit what the look is like. We're going to place where the flower boxes are going to go, so we can start to see a little bit the shape and the silhouettes of the design. That should give a little bit of an understanding if we're heading in the right direction or not. And then the last thing we have to do is next week they're starting to put all of our kind of sandy pathways around the property. We definitely wanted to do this early on because I mean, you guys remember how it was here. It was like a mud pit last year. I will say we had a lot of rain, but it was a mud pit. So we need to have some roads in order to be able to manage the whole place, to be able to ride our car around, to keep everything maintained, to clean the fields, to walk the horses in and out of the fields. We can't be like knee deep in mud. So that's going to start to get addressed next week. But we have to set out where the pathway is going to be going from the main road into the outdoor arena. So we're going to be doing that too. So we should have actually quite a big, satisfying before and after already today, and a good understanding of where the vision is going. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in terms of design and how it's going to be. I can't say I've seen a lot of outdoors that have this specific design. It's just something that I came up out of myself. So it's going to be one of those examples where you just have to try it and see how it goes. Luckily, I think we have enough things today with the benches already being here and a couple of these other things that we're going to get a pretty good understanding of how it is. Okay, enough faffing now. I think you guys get what I mean. We're going to head out. I've already loaded up the cart. We're going to be going out to the outdoor. Let's start laying everything out and seeing how it goes. If you've heard the news, but I am officially a horse breeder. This is a whole new journey I'm going down. And in order to kind of showcase this journey, I had to open a website, which is mhbreeding.com. And of course, when I have to create a website, I go on Squarespace. The reason for that is I don't have coding knowledge. I'm not the most tech savvy person, even though I work online, but Squarespace makes the user journey so friendly and easy that I was able to design the whole website myself. First off, you have hundreds of already made templates to choose from, which means that you can really find the design that best suits your business. After this, Squarespace basically guides you through every next step in order to create your dream website. One of the things that I love so much is that when I'm traveling, I can make quick editing changes, I can add pages. It's very, very simple and straightforward. I couldn't recommend Squarespace more to any entrepreneur or anybody that's looking to design and create and stay in charge of their own website. If this sounds interesting to you, then do use my link, which is www.squarespace.com/Harnacke, and in doing so, you'll get 10% off your first website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for being such a loyal sponsor over the years. It truly is a testament to just how great this platform is. We've got our landscape fabric. These are the pins to put the landscape fabric down. Got our flags. These will come in handy later on. And we've got our scissors. Obviously, one roll will not be enough for the landscape fabric. I have more, but I'm just gonna bring one because this is actually meant to be 3.5 meters wide by 50 meters. And considering it's so thin, I need to figure out exactly how it rolls out. It's probably folded, which is gonna make my life much more difficult. But let's start with this and see how we go. Now you guys will be able to see that the grass is growing back in quite well. Since you guys last saw the arena, we actually had to reseed and re-straighten everything out. So this grass is only about 2 weeks old, which actually so far I think it's looking quite good. It's not bad. So you guys will already be able to see that the grass kind of stops right here where we've seeded. And that's because we've left this 3.5 meter border because this is where most of our plantings are going to be concentrated. As I've said, there's going to be about, let's say, 1 meter of this space we will lay empty. The hedge will be placed here, and then we will leave a little bit of space, let's say 1.5 meters here, to be able to do some other plantings. I'm thinking rhododendrons, something along that line, some bigger shrubs. So that's why you'll see that there's kind of this empty perimeter. But what we are having happen at the moment is obviously all these weeds are starting to grow. So the idea is, I might actually have to go get a rake, but the idea is that I might need to scrape some dirt back, and then from the edge here, I'll start laying the landscape fabric, and that way we don't get all these weeds trying to grow into the arena and making everything look untidy, and we can just keep the base really clean. Everything will die off underneath. That way when we go to plant our hedge in a month or so, we have a nice base to start with. The land around here has been tilled, so it's quite soft. It's quite even actually, but this is just the next steps in preparation for the landscaping to go in. So we will start with just like a 2-3 meter sample, just see how it goes, and we'll go from there. It's gonna be far too difficult if I just try and do like huge sections because it is folded. So I'm gonna start with a rather small section, just cut it, open it, lay it, and we will see how it goes. Well, actually that didn't go too bad at all. What I'm gonna do now is start doing bigger sections, so it should go also a lot quicker. And we're just gonna see if we can just quickly wrap our way all the way around. I hope I have enough pins and stuff, but I think so. I should be able to use less and less as I'm doing just the middle sections. But I think now I'm just gonna kind of get going and just see how far I can get. Well, I don't have my mic, but I think I've managed to do a lot. It's a much bigger project than I anticipated because moving all of the dirt by hand, which I've been doing for the whole edge, is a lot of work. Now, you guys will see that behind me here, where there was all these really high weeds and stuff, I just suffocated them with this thing, and in a matter of 2 weeks it will all be flat, and then I can come back in here and retighten it. And I'll obviously come in with my mower here and just mow that whole thing down. And then once we start to keep all of this lawn around here maintained, all the big weeds will go. We actually need to do something around this thing, so that's why I didn't make it too neat either. But it's coming along. Overall, it's coming along. Okay, halfway is ambitious. I'm not halfway, but I'm getting quite close. I think if I actually do this with Yes's help as well, in a couple of hours we should be able to do everything, and all the other edges are not built up. It's only really this side, so it should be much easier on the other side to get everything nice and smooth. But I'm worn out. It's taken a lot of energy just to do this already. I've come back out here with the girls, and of course the landscape fabric is going to have to continue, but because we have a bit of a deadline, because tomorrow we are starting to put down this pathway here, I've halted that, I've gotten my flags, and we're gonna have to figure out exactly where it's going to go. Now you can see that when we tilled this whole area and reseeded it, we had left kind of a pathway. We had done it very quickly, just so we had a hard surface to be able to walk in and out of the arena from. That way we weren't trekking mud and having to walk the horses through mud. But actually this is not exactly how I would like to have it. And I'm going to tell you why. If I bring you guys a bit closer here, you can see that there's a bend throughout the whole pathway here. And what I would like to establish, actually I haven't told you guys yet, but I have found 2 pillars to flank the entrance, which I think actually we're going to place pretty much where the hedge goes, which is somewhere here. There's going to be these 2 pillars. But right now the pathway straight away turns, which means you're never going to be really looking at these pillars straight on. So what I would like it to do is to go straight for a bit first. And then after a while of it going straight, I would like it to start bending back towards the main track of where you enter this pathway from. That way at some point when you're arriving in the arena, you're actually straight on in the middle, quite a ways away before you enter. I think that will look better in terms of how the eye takes in the design, and for symmetry and all that kind of stuff. So that's my idea a little bit. I've got my handy flags. You guys will remember these bad boys were the ones that helped me create all of the grass pathways when we had no fencing, nothing. So I'm going to be playing around a little bit with these. The pathway we're keeping 3 meters wide here. That way, if vehicles need to drive in, all that kind of stuff, there's plenty of space. So I think we just have to play around, to be honest. I think I just need to, I have a vague idea of how I'm going to do this. The dogs are digging for something. I don't know what. They're actually very good. They typically never dig, but they, Maze, good girl. And this is not a toy, so don't start removing these. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick a center, or at least what looks like the center to me for now. Okay, I think I have it right. I'm walking now in the middle of the path, and this is a visual guide for you guys to see things a little bit better. So the pathway is straight still at the end. That way on your final approach, you are straight on, especially because it's going to be quite symmetrical. So from here on out, pathway straight, which I think is about 20 meters. And then this is the remainder, and you can see that it has a curve, but it's not severe. So the approach will begin straight from here. And then at some point, because the pathway is 3 meters wide, but the entrance is 6 meters, where the fence is. So I think probably by this second flag, the pathway will then widen and go to the 6 meters. So there is more space here at the entrance. But I think we're onto something here. I think this could be it. I hope it reads well on camera. I'm gonna see if hopefully the weather holds, but I'm gonna try and maybe get an aerial shot, because I should be able to see the hose with the drone. It's always quite tricky to be able to see the flags with the drone, but that's the whole reason I got the hose. So maybe I fly the drone and see if I can get a little headshot, but this to me feels pretty natural. That's kind of the whole point, is you want to design something, at least in my head, I always want to design something that feels like it's always been there. Like it's natural, it flows with everything else, and I feel like this is pretty good. If I was to think of what's the most logical, it's how we had it before. But I don't like that you approach the arena like this from the side. I just don't love that as much. I think having a straight on approach in the end will be nice. And I know these are very small details, but in the end, it's actually the small details that give you that kind of elevated, thought through feeling. And actually, while we're here, I just wanted to show you a little bit how far we got with this, because I didn't really give you like a little tour of it after. So I can show you. I've been trampling all over this fresh grass, but I think it should be fine. But here's a little look at how far we got. Honestly, for my first time doing such a big amount, I'm pretty impressed. And when we have to lay, there's going to be a time obviously where we have to lay the hedge. So what we're going to do then, probably along this line is where the hedge is going to be. All you do is you cut it in the middle, you fold it back, you plant your hedge, you place it then back over. So it's not that I'm doing all this work for nothing. But yeah, so far it's coming bit by bit. I just need Jess's opinion now. Also saying a couple of times that he really wanted to look through the pathway because he was not 100% satisfied with the quick one we had made already. So I guess tomorrow morning we're going to have a look together. Some of the contractors are here around 7:30 to have a good overview and overlook at everything. Then we're going out with the contractors to see an example, a real life example of the road, even though we already know it, but just to be 100% sure on the color and everything, we're gonna go out and see it. And then in the following days, everything should kind of pick up around here. But I think for today, that's kind of it. I'm gonna pick this back up when I'm with Yes and we're making some decisions, and then you guys are gonna, you're so lucky that you guys get to just see it come together. I'm dreading having to put this landscape fabric down, but it will be worth it. It's already very satisfying that it's down and that the weeds are gone and all that kind of stuff. So it will certainly be worth it. Also, there is back there an electrical box, which these are kind of the mistakes you make as you go. The electrical box, which was put in, is super high. I don't know why it's that high. So we're going to basically chop off the top and place it lower because it's such an eyesore. And of course we will do the landscaping around it to hide it a little bit and everything, but there's just no reason for it to be so high. So that we will sort that out. But it's trial and error around here. It's the first time Yes and I do any of these kind of bigger things. And of course, actually initially the arena was 10 meters more in front, which meant that everything was well hidden. But not anymore, since my nervous breakdown and moving everything back. All right, I am switching off for today. I have to go ride 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 and finish up some things. Two of Yes's horses are coming back because he's at the show and I need to put them away. Yes is still there with the stand, so busy. But I will recoup with you guys in the morning. It's a couple of days later. And oh my gosh, guys, it's all happening here again. There is a small, if you came to our property today, you would guess we're building a small village out there, which we're absolutely obviously not. But there's people everywhere for all sorts. And the reason for that is we've had quite a tricky amount of rainfall and weather in the past last 2-3 days, which has meant that we have a very, very, very small window of weather that's going to allow us to place down the new sandy pathways on our property. Okay, I have to change boots because this one is going to give, my foot is already getting a wound. Hold on. Yes and I had to come out here. You guys saw me lay that pathway. So yes, it came out, we had a look at it, we were happy with it. Then yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday, we went to a place about an hour away where these contractors have done these kind of pathways before. We were able to see the pathway. I will say it was a small one, so it was a bit more difficult to tell exactly what ours would look like, but we were at least able to see the structure, the color, all that kind of stuff, and we were happy with it. So it's full steam ahead. It's absolutely full steam ahead around here. And what they've started to do is, the great thing actually about this install is that there's no digging needed. They don't have to dig out the soil, they don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. Everything is placed on top. All they are doing is kind of leveling out and flattening everything with a roller. And then they have this very large machine that already places the kind of whole base, everything on at once. So it all actually happens very quickly. So in 48 hours or less than 48 hours, they will place almost 1 kilometer worth of these roads. I'll spin you guys around and you get a better impression. You guys will have seen this road. This one was always here. There's actually underneath it, at some point, we think there was some stones or bricks or something, because down in the base there is some of that. But you can see that all they've done is they've rolled it. They've just taken the very, very, very top layer and loosened it, and then they've rolled it. And this is a brand new walkway going to the arena. So we flared out the sides, so it's much easier to make the turns if you're going with a tractor or with a car or anything like that. This is the first time I'm walking it since they've compacted it, and I'm very happy with the shape now. Very happy. It feels natural. And then, of course, at the end, you get this beautiful lead up straight into the arena. So I'm very, very, very happy with this. This has come out exactly as I envisioned, and it feels still very natural. Emporio's here, and he's very much not enjoying today. He's a little bit pacing because all the horses had to be moved to the back. We can't do that yet with him. So he's over here, so he's walking a bit, and he's actually breaking the field. I'm trying not to look. But he's calm. He's calm in the sense that he's not, like, you know, going crazy or something. He's filthy also because he rolled in the mud. Hey, buddy. But he's just going to be walking a bit today. That's the way it is. There's a lot of commotion. The horse has moved, and he's a bit not terribly impressed by it. But that's all part of it. Up here you can see a little bit the remainder of how everything's shaping up. This interior space is going to be smaller. We've already discussed it, that we didn't want to have it this big. So we're going to be setting some new lines. It's going to kind of come in front and round out here and go like that. So it's not such a large It's just a little bit too big at the moment. We want it to stay quite green and natural and all that kind of stuff. And then of course, that just keeps you on the canter track. And this road brings you down the back to all the other fields. I actually have not properly seen these yet, so we can take a look together for the first time. And this is where it's leading down to. You can see a little bit there how everything is shaping up. It's odd to think that in just 48 hours all of this is done. I mean, it's only been a couple of hours and already all of this is taking shape. And they're going to start and make their way from the back all the way to everything in front, and that's in order not to like damage or ruin the work they've already done. And this is the very impressive machine. It's going to be handling it all, and it sets it all down with a laser, so it's perfect, and it's curved on the edges so the water can run off. So I think we're going to be very pleased with the results here. While all of that is going on, I thought I would come out and continue and finish this landscape fabric. It's been driving me absolutely nuts. So you can see they've already actually, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you later once I've got the landscape fabric in. We already have the contours of how the pathway and everything is going to go. So I'm just gonna kind of like do my part. And while all of this is going on, we will just be laying this landscape fabric down. I did some off camera actually, and now the whole left side is finished, the whole back is finished, so we just have half to go. This half and then that half, and I think I was expecting this half to be easier, but I think it won't be because I've got to do more digging. I already did some here to clean up the edge, but it's fine. The important thing is we get it done, so let's just jump into it and get going. I think I'm getting quicker and better at this also, so that's at least encouraging. Right, now that that's all done, I told you guys that Yes and I needed to find like an instant hedge to go around the outdoor arena. And I have found a place that is selling like a 4 or 5 year old 1.30 meter hedge that's been potted. So it's already kind of been grown in a hedge form. It's an instant impact, instant hedge, and it comes in pots. It doesn't come bare root or anything. You have to order 200 meters worth of hedging, which is a lot. But the benefit of what we're able to do is, because all this hedging is in pots, is that when it arrives at the property, we're actually going to be able to set it down, watch it, make any adjustments, make different shapes, test it out, and see if we like it or not. It is a little bit more expensive to do it this way, but I think in the long run, for two reasons: the instant impact and instant kind of fence action it will serve, but also because we will get the opportunity to play around with everything a little bit. I think it's going to make a really big difference doing it this way. But first, before committing, because it is a larger amount of money, before committing, I'm going to go out there, have a look at it firsthand myself, and make a little bit of a decision. Okay, is it worth it or not? Does it look good enough or not? So that's what we're gonna go do today, and I'm bringing you guys with me. And then basically after this, because all of the landscape fabric is done now, so basically after this, it's only about everything arriving. So the benches need to arrive. That's arriving tomorrow. All of the planters for the arena lettuce have already arrived, and hopefully we can arrange quick delivery, maybe even this week, of the hedge, which would be amazing. So we're just going step by step, but things are turning around quickly. So first things first is it's quite a drive actually. So first things first is going to actually look if this is the right thing, and then we can place our order. But I'll bring you guys along, and you can see what I mean with what we're shopping for today. So I've arrived at the Hedges, and you can see that they're all in these little pots in these rows, so they're kind of ready to go. The only downside is that the back of them is a little bit more naked, so I might have to we might have to plant the backs of them again to fill them up. But maybe if I can get them for a better price because of that, that should be possible. But then you guys will see we can prop these just next to the arena without planting them yet, and get an idea for the spacings. But this could be something. So I'm just gonna see if we can do something on the price and go from there. But this gives you guys a bit of an idea of kind of like what's going to be coming to the house in terms of the hedge. And it's quite tall already. There's some slightly shorter ones at the back, but it will be at like 1.30 meters already when it's in the ground. He's given me a little bit of a bigger discount again, so I'm just gonna have to go home and check how much it's gonna cost to add that additional row behind, and talk to Yes as well. But while I was driving here, I went past a beautiful nursery which I didn't know about, and I actually know most of the like nice ones around our area. So I passed them and I thought, okay, maybe I need to contact them and see if they have those trees that we wanted for the outdoor arena. So I called them, they said yes, we have them, and now I'm gonna run there quick on the way home and have a look. So we're gonna bump quickly into a nursery, and these are bigger trees, so they don't come in like a pot or something. They come in like a burlap sack, because they just like, it's not technically bare root, but they just come out of the ground. They already have like a stem size of 25 to 30 centimeters, so they're like 5-6 meters tall. So we're gonna go look at them, which is exciting. So we have another stop before we head home. Here we are. This is the Prunus avium, the ones that we're interested in. We've gone now to the biggest ones they have here, which are about 7 meters tall. Of course, they will grow in bulk because they've been cut back just to be here at the nursery. And we're looking at the line of them because we're gonna need to get about 10 of them, and they all need to be roughly the same size. But it's actually a pretty serious looking tree already. So they look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them, and I think the bark looks quite interesting. There's a slight like red to it as well. But you can see size reference wise that it's pretty big. They look very nice.
Yeah, it's a very good lot.
I saw that the tops are currently staked. Does that need to stay staked?
No,
or
you can get it out, take it out, because we make that straight because of we want to prune them up sometimes till 4 meters.
Oh yeah.
And then they need the straight crown above.
I understand.
But for in your case, I would recommend to take it off, because you can better take it off, because the head will otherwise form only height, and then there comes a lot of wind in the Achterhoek, and
problem.
It can be damaged.
Yeah. And how long do you think it takes to get some bulk? Because of course you guys cut them back here because it's in a nursery.
When this grows, the length of the branch you see above is about 1 year. So you get it back also in 1 year, the white. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the branch is this part here, and the bottom is all new. Yes. Yeah?
Oh, but then it grows quite fast then.
Yeah, it grows quite fast. So it will be wider very quick.
Yeah.
Because we pruned them to take the branches together.
Yeah, I understand. I'm back home again. That was a very, very successful outing. Quick. I had to like get in and get out because I didn't have an appointment at the nursery, but very helpful to go see the trees firsthand myself. It was a really nice lot of trees. I think we're gonna pull the trigger. I've received an offer. The offer looks good. Now the trees themselves, we have to wait until end of October, November to be able to plant them, because big trees like this need to be in dormancy when they're transplanted. And I'm on the fence about this whole hedge situation. So I just need to, I'm not 100% sure yet because the back of this hedge is a bit naked. I'm not really sure whether to pull the trigger or just to wait it out until October, November and plant them bare root and just have it thicker to begin with. I don't know. I need to still sit on it a little bit and think. But I'm just about to go film one of the next videos you guys are gonna see, and we're gonna do the whole install of all of the like hardscape on the outdoor. So I'm just gonna go and film that. But for this vlog, this is where it finishes. But I'm very excited to show you guys the next phases of the outdoor. It's going to really start coming together here, and I'm going to give you guys a better tour of all the roads and everything on the next vlog as well. I'm very interested in hearing your opinions about the outdoor landscaping plan. Any suggestions are always welcome. You can leave them down below. But for now, that's it. I'm going to wish you guys a great day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.